Hello, my name is Caleb Everett, and today I'll be discussing the topic of executive attention. In this presentation, I will discuss executive attention and how it is developed during childhood. I will also discuss two articles related to this topic. Hopefully, you will gain a greater appreciation for this critical cognitive process after listening. According to the textbook, quote, "The executive attention network is responsible for the kind of attention we use when a task focuses on conflict." For example, as you are listening to this presentation, you must stop the automatic response you're hearing so that you can comprehend the information and formulate questions. Basically, it means ignoring meaningless information in order to focus on more important information. This becomes important in childhood when tasks like school require this type of cognitive ability. Luckily for children, the area in the brain responsible for executive attention begins to develop in early childhood. According to the article by Amanda W. Joyce and al., quote, "This attention develops rapidly as the anterior cingulate cortex and prefrontal areas mature during early and middle childhood." The purpose of this article was to find specific factors that influence the development of executive attention and the brain region that it takes place in. The study done in this article involved taking 25 4-year-old children and testing their level of executive attention using 3 different methods. The same kids were then tested 4 years later with the same methods. The article states that, quote, "Although executive attention is readily observable at 4 years, via conflict task performance, parent report of attention, and frontal EEG, it is not always a good predictor of later executive attention." However, this study did find that attention focusing at age 4 was related to executive attention at age 8, and therefore could be used as a predictive tool. They also tested attention shifting, but found that it did not share the same relationship with executive attention that attention focusing did. It should be noted that this article mentioned that executive attention is lacking adequate research, and that further research needs to be done before any conclusive results can be determined. The second article that I will be discussing is titled "Multimodal Imaging of the Self-Regulating Brain." Self-regulation, according to the text, quote, "refers to the ability to control behavior, cognition, and emotions, and self-regulation failure is related to a range of neuropsychiatric problems." The focus of the study in this article was to better understand how physical growth of the brain during childhood causes maturation of self-regulation. Like the previous article, this one states that the cognitive ability of executive attention begins developing rapidly around age 4 and development slows around age 15. The main discovery in this article was that the area of the brain responsible for self-regulation is the anterior cingulate cortex. As previously stated, this area of the brain is associated with executive attention, which is how this article is related to this presentation. Knowing that these areas are intertwined can help us better understand specific neurodevelopmental disorders that take place in the anterior cingulate cortex. The article does not discuss any of these specific disorders, but instead leaves that for later researchers to study. Executive attention is a critical process that we use in everyday tasks, regardless of if we are aware of it. Development of this process begins around age 4 and slows down during our teenage years. The area of the brain associated with executive function is also related to tasks such as self-regulation. In this presentation, I've discussed 2 articles related to the topic of executive attention and how they apply to real-world scenarios. In conclusion, executive attention is a fascinating aspect of our cognitive abilities that we often take for granted. Thank you.